Hello everyone, my name is Wilda Lisiana and I'm from Group 3 and I would like to explain about article. For the first definition about articles is a, and d are words used to limit the meaning of nouns. Thus, they actually do not have a special meaning of the word, but the article has a special function in completing a phrase or clause, which specially relate to the noun or noun in and type of article. The article is divided into two, namely definite and indefinite. And what are the function of the definite article? The article used in the definite article. The is used for specific things, or it has been clear or previously explained, including person, thing, and either. And this word is used before countable noun that can be count or uncountable noun that can be counted. And for example, please give me the hammer atau tolong berikan aku palu itu. There's a girl in front of the bookstore. Di sana ada seorang anak di depan toko buku. And the place that I just visit is cozy. Tempat yang baru saya kunjungi sangat nyaman. And what are the function of indefinite article? A or an is used in indefinite article. This article is used for things that are not specific or have not been explained before, including person, thing, object, and idea. And this word is only used before a singular countable noun. And for example, he goes to the swimming pool twice a week. Dia pergi ke kolam renang 2 kali seminggu. And he is studied at a reputable university in town. Ia belajar di universitas ternama di kota. Okay, and for the next explained by my friends Rahmi Amalia.
Okay, for the next explanation, I would like to explain about comparative and superlative degree. So, the first is the definition of comparative and superlative degree. Comparative degree is the level of comparison of two nouns either positively more than or less than. Jadi comparative degree adalah menjelaskan tentang lebih dari suatu benda. And superlative degree is the level of comparison of noun that show the best or worst quality in an adjective. The next is the formula of comparative and superlative degree. The first is the formula of comparative degree. We have three formula. The first is adjective plus er plus than. The second is more plus adjective or adverb plus than. And the last is less plus a plus than. The example of the first formula, adjective plus er plus than. The example is Surabaya is hotter than Kediri. Hotter than Kediri. The second formula of comparative degree, more plus adjective plus adverb plus than. The example is Sule is more popular than Andre. And the last formula, less plus ena plus than. The example is grammar class is less interesting than speaking class. The next is formula of superlative degree. We have three formula in superlative degree. The first is the plus adjective plus as plus in or of. The second is the verb plus most plus adjective of or adverb plus in or of. And the last is the plus less plus a plus in or of. The example in the first formula, the plus adjective plus as plus in or of. The example is Semeru is the highest mountain in Java. The second, the plus most plus adjective or adverb plus in or of. The example is Bermuda Triangle is the most dangerous place in the world. And the last formula is the plus last plus a plus in or of. The example is the less damage of the earthquake occurred in 1984. And the next is comparative degree use. We have 4 comparative degree use. The first is suffix er. The suffix er is most commonly used to make the comparative degree of an adjective, generally only used for adjectives with 1 to 2 syllables. The next is more. In the comparative degree used for adjectives with more than 2 syllables. However, there are some words with 2 syllables or less that also use more. The next, more than. More than is a comparative degree marker with the same function as more. However, here there are 2 different nouns that the more than marker compares. And the last is less than. Less than is comparative degree marker for negative expressions if the endings er and more are used to indicate excess, then less is used to denote lack. The next is comparative degree use. We have 3 comparative degree use. The first is suffix es. Suffix is just like the er ending in comparative degree. The s suffix is also used only for adjectives with 1 to 2 syllables. The next is most. Most is used for an adjective with a syllable above 2. In addition, most can also be used for an adjective format from a gerund. And the last is least. Least is a superlative degree marker used for sentence with negative adjectives if the endings s and more give the meaning of at least. For an adjective, then at least gives the meaning of at least. Okay, I think enough for me. For the next explanation by my friends. Nordia.
Hello everyone, and now I'd like to explain about countable and uncountable nouns. What is countable nouns? Countable nouns is some nouns refer to things which in English are treated as fruit items which can be counted. These are called countable nouns. Or in bahasa, countable nouns adalah sesuatu yang bisa dihitung. For example, a car. For the sentence, 3 cars. My cousins, my 2 cousins. A book, a box full of books. A city, several big cities. Okay, for the next is uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns in English grammar, some things are seen as a whole or mass. These are called uncountable nouns because they cannot be spread or count. Or in bahasa, uncountable nouns adalah sesuatu yang tidak bisa dihitung. For example, ideas and experience, advice, information, progress, news, luck, fun, and work. For the next is material and substance. Weather, rice, common, cold, milk. For the weather's words, weather, thunder, lightning, rain, and snow. For the names for groups are collection of things, furniture, equipment, rubbish, and legend. Okay, for the other common uncountable nouns is include accommodation, Beijing, homework, knowledge, money, permission, research, traffic, and the last is travel. Okay, for the example, uncountable noun sentence is, we need rice next time we go shopping. For the next, we had terrible weather last week. And for the last, we are going to get new furniture for the living room. Okay, everyone, maybe that's all about countable noun and uncountable nouns. For the next explanation can explain by my partner Rizka Albiani.
Okay everyone, and now I will explain about modal auxiliary verb. A modal auxiliary verb, often simply called as a modal verb or even just a modal, is used to change the meaning of other verbs by expressing modality, that is asserting possibility, likelihood, ability, permission, obligation, or future intention. And there are 9 modal auxiliary verbs. First one is will. Will as a modal auxiliary verb. Will is particularly versatile. And for example, I will go to college in the fall. Nah, it is decided that I'm going to attend college in the fall. And next is would. The modal auxiliary verb would has a variety of function and uses. It is used in place of will for things that happen or began in the past. And like shall, it is sometimes used in place of will to create more formal or polite sentence. And for example, I will go to college in the fall, or I was planning to attend college in the fall, but sometimes not state is preventing or dissuading me from doing so. And next is must. The modal verb must is most often used to express necessity. In addition to indicating necessity, must can be used to indicate that something is certain or very likely to happen or be true. For example is, I must go to college in the fall, or I have to attend college in the fall, but it is not decided. And next is can. As a modal auxiliary verb, can is most often used to express a person or thing's ability to do something. And for example is, I can go to college in the fall, or I am able to attend college in the fall. And next is could. Nah, the modal verb could is most often used as a past tense version of can, indicating what someone or something was able to do in the past. And could is also used to express a slight or uncertain possibility, as well as for making a suggestion or offer. And for example, I could go to college in the fall, or I have the ability to attend college in the fall, but it is not decided. Next is shall. The modal verb shall is used to politically express obligation or duties. For example, I shall go to college in the fall. It is correct, proper, or right that I attend college in the fall. And next is shall. Shall is used in many of the same ways as will. Using shall adds an additional degree of politeness or formality to the sentence that will sometimes like. Shall is only used when I or we is the subject. And for example is I shall go to college in the fall. Or a more formal way of saying I will go to college in the fall, possibly emphasizing one's determination to do so. And next is my. The modal verb my is used to request, grant, or describe permission. Also use my as a rhetorical device to express or introduce an opinion or sentiment about something. For example is I might go to college in the fall, or I will possibly attend college in the fall, but it is not decided. And the last is might. The modal verb might is most often used to express an unlikely or uncertain possibility. Make also action as a very formal and polite way to ask for permission, and it is used as the past tense form of my when asking permission in report speech. And for example is I may go to college in the fall, or I will possibly attend college in the fall, but it is not decided. Okay, maybe that's all for me, and the next explanation can be explained by Noka Solehia.
Hello everyone, my name is Noka Solehia and I will explain about relative clause. So the definition about relative clause is a relative clause is a sentence describing a noun, however it cannot be used separately. So the usage is, the pronoun is who, whom, whose, which, that, where, when, why, and what. So the usage of who is refers to people or subject. The example is that's the man who stole the money. Who stole the money? Who stole the money is the man. So next, whom. The usage of whom is refers to people or object of verb. The example is we need to find people whom we can trust. So after that, whose. The usage is refers to possessions, and then the example is whose keys are on the kitchen counter. Whose keys are on the kitchen counter. And then next, which refers to animal and object. The example is Buckingham Palace, which is in London, is a favorite place. Buckingham Palace, which is in London, is a favorite place. Next, that refers to people, things, and animal. For the example, I lost the map that she gave me. I lost the map that she gave me. And then next, where refers to place. For example, we visited the house where our dad was born. Next, when refers to the time. Then for example, Christmas is a day when people are happy. Christmas is a day when people are happy. Next, why refers to the reason. For example, I would like to know the reason why you are so late. I would like to know the reason why you are so late. So the reason why she or he late is what. And then next, about what refers to things. For example, I didn't hear what you say. I didn't hear what she said. So she or he didn't hear what he or she did say. Okay, that's all about my explanation. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.